Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now, this is what if female Deku is a Sith Inquisitor, went to the UB universe. I think that's what I named the title, so that doesn't matter right now. This is part 2. Yeah, it's part 2. As we start off our episode off where we last left off, where Izumi was following Crow and Ruby back to Rose's uh, house, to Rose's place, with her dad and her sister Yang. As Ruby is walking next to Izumi, as she looks at her, as she taps her on the shoulder, as Izumi looks back at her, as she's like, "You need something." It's like, I don't know if I introduced myself yet. I kind of forgot. If I did, I don't remember. Sorry about that. As she, I'm Ruby Rose. As as you know, Izumi. It's like Izumi. As they, do official greeting. Ruby doesn't remember if she did or not. She's a bit of a klutz, so, there's that. Oh, by the way, Crow, I'll need to return to my landing site tomorrow to pick up a few things. As Crow looks at her, it's nothing dangerous. Personal belongings. As long as he's like, fine, as long as you have someone go with you. I don't trust you fully yet. As he's like, suspicious, are we? Very well, Crow. As Crow gets to the house, as they see Yang fiddling with her bike, as Rose, oh, sister's back. As she rushes over there, hugs her sister, as she looks at, Rose, as, not Rose, but Ruby, as she's like, it's Uncle Crow, but who's that in all black armor? Who's the chick with the black armor? We I think it's best for Uncle Crow to explain to you. She thinks this is fishy. As Crow gestures to two to stay there, all three of them stay there. I need to inform your father of the situation. As he, I'll be, you girls could come in a little bit. As he goes inside to talk with Yang and Ruby's father. As Yang looks at Izumi, as judging by your outfit, judging by your armor, you're not from around here. As Izumi's like, affirmative. As she's like, I'm Yang, by the way. As Izumi's like, as she's like, I'm Izumi. As, they do the whole introductions, all that fun stuff. As Crow comes out, all right, girls, come inside. Everyone walks in as Ruby's dad gestures everyone to sit down. As Izumi's in the military pose, standing up, as I believe Crow said your name was Izumi. Please sit down. She's like, right, sit. Very well. She's used to doing her telling intel, standing up, not sitting down because military. So she sits down with all of them. Crow sits down as he swigs this bit of his I forget the a flask. As she's like, all right, kid, spill the beans. As what we agree upon, I'll give you information on this world, and you give me information on yours. Like you said, equal trade of information. Very well, Crow. What would you like to know first? I get the gist of your Inquisitor title, but I want to more. I want to know more about the Sith part of it. Very well, Crow. I am. Sorry. Let me give me a second. I totally forgot what I was about to say. Ah. I am Izumi, Sith Inquisitor of the Sith Empire. My main, uh, my main operations is to retrieve Sith holocrons and eliminate any Jedi that I've been ordered to take out. I am the apprentice of Darth Void, head of Sith Inquisitor operations, Sith Lord. As continues, as Crow asks, but what are Sith exactly? As Izumi stays quiet for a minute, as she finally speaks up, Sith, the Sith Order, sorry, the Order of the Sith Empire. Well, not Sith Empire, but basically they run it. Yeah, Sith does run it. So the Sith Order is a order of warriors that use special abilities. There are these things called malachlorines. Think of their life itself. Everyone has them. I have extreme amount of them in my body. Therefore, we're able to use certain abilities. As she lifts up a cup with the force, as she sets it down, that's just a simple ability that you're able to achieve through training. Given the Sith Order is known for quite evil acts, but we were put in that place. We weren't put in that role. We were forced in that role by the Jedi Order. The Jedi Order uses the same abilities, but they use a different spectrum of the Force. The Force is everything. As she explains the whole, how the Force works. Be very fortunate that the Galactic Empire can't get you, because your people would not stand a chance. They would slaughter you. As Crow, what do you mean? Judging by what I've seen of your planet so far, given I haven't seen very much, but what I've seen, your technology is you're very barbaric compared to the Empire. You people seem alright to me. It would be a shame to see you all in slave collars. As they were kind of, took them back by that slave collars. As Crows, wait, slavery is a thing back where you're from? Yes, the Empire conquers a planet, uses what it can, and discards the rest. They normally capture a planet. They usually enslave all the women and children, kill off the rest, use what they can. If they can't use it, they'll discard it or destroy it. That includes people as well. As Ruby's like, I have a quick question. You said you're an apprentice. How do you become the boss? I mean, the lord. As Izumi looks at Ruby, as she takes off her helmet, as she unlatches it, as soon as she took off her helmet, as all you see is a long blonde hair come down, as she sets her helmet on the table, as she flicks some of her hair away from her eyes. Simple, Rose, Ruby, you have to kill him. As they were like, what? They were like confused. Yeah, order for a master and for apprentice to get a promotion. sort of say, you have to kill the master, but you have to do it in a way that the Sith Council doesn't find proof. As they're like confused. Yeah, the Sith Council doesn't like outright power plays against the other Sith lords. It makes them nervous, and what makes them nervous gets the attention of the empire, of the emperor, and when the emperor takes notice, he'll bring his wrath. As rupees, what's a wrath? As it's a title for the emperor's executioner. Never seen a person myself. No one has, except for the emperor himself. Left alive, that is, at least. As a girl, my family was a big supporter of the Republic. Bunch of cowards. As Ruby's father, Republic, yeah, it's the Empire and the Republic have been at a war for I don't know for how long. They've been at war my whole life before even I was even born. The Empire and the Republic have always been at each other's throats. My home planet was fractured between the Empire and the Republic. There was many sympathizers among my people. My whole life, my parents wanted a certain life for me, guided by what they wanted. Not what I needed, what they wanted to just increase their their power standing in the government. As she smiles, just like I was quite a naive little girl. As she remembers she's just thinking upon that. As she continues, and I always was a big supporter of the Empire, and I wasn't quiet about it. Somehow the Empire found out, so they offered me a deal, sparing my life for the invasion they were planning. They were going to do it anyways. They just needed someone to help to do it faster, so I did what I would do. I was given a choice: either stay and die with the rest of those with the scum, or survive. So I chose to survive. So I told the people in charge how to bypass the security systems. Then the Empire does what it does best. As Ruby's father's, what happened to your parents? As she gives him a cold stare. I killed him, of course. As everyone's shocked. As like, how can you kill your own parents? As she's, as Yang spits out. Not Yang, Ruby. And of course I killed the bastard. As she slams the table, hand on the table. That bastard didn't care about anyone. She, he didn't even love, he didn't even love his own wife. It was only a, a play to get more power. That's the whole marriage was a farce to begin with. I'll be damned if they're gonna use me as a pawn. If I could do it again, I would. As Izumi, she's kind of pissed. As she, as she, as she regains her posure, as she's like, my apologies for the rough behavior. That's very unprofessional of me. But considering my situation here, I came to realize I'm finally free. I can do whatever the fuck I want, with no one dictating what I can and cannot do. Out between the laws, of course. And she gives, a smile. Do you have anything else, Crow? what is your what is your main goal now? Actually, for once in my life, I don't know. I really don't know. I have a question, though. What were those creatures that we encountered when we first met? As they're called Grim. As Crow gives her the rundown of Grim and how the world works, as she says, as Grim mentions the Hunter organization, and the whole Beacon Academy thing. Huntress. Interesting, Crow. Is that some sort of job on this planet? As he's like, yes, it. As long as you go through the proper channels, go through the school. That's where we beacon. That's where we train all hunters and huntresses. Crow swigs a bit of his alcohol as he gets up. I, as he's like, don't trust you just yet, kid, but now I feel better that you don't have anything devious planned. As she looks at him, I would never do nothing devious. As as Raven laughs. Not Raven. I'm sorry. Crow laughs a little bit as he's like, I don't believe that one bit. You're a survivor. What makes it even more scarier is that you remind me of my sister. As he walks off, I need to go and contact Osbin of the situation. And before you leave, Crow, I am interested in this whole school thing to get a hunter's license. I do finding those creatures called Grim very interesting. I'll keep that in mind, Brat, as he, turns into Crow and he disappears. Crow stuff. There was a there was a cold silence in the room as everyone's nervous. As Ruby's like, Dad, what's for dinner? As oh yeah, I totally forgot. Why don't you as Izumi's about to leave? No, you stay here, Izumi. I can't have you going off out in the wilderness by yourself. Crow mentioned a place for you to stay in. I believe you just stay here. He's kind of nervous around her, but he knows deep down she's not gonna do anything to them because if she would have already done it so already. As soon as Crow left the room, if she wanted to, she would have killed everyone there. And she could tell by the look of her, how she looks in her eyes, that yeah, she's done some things that she's probably not too proud of. But yeah, she has that stern look, that look in her eye, that she's seen some shit. As they all eat dinner together, as Izumi's all, by the way, I need to go back to my landing crash or where I crashed at tomorrow. And Crow said I have to bring one of you with me. As as Yang's like, I'll go with you. We could have a nice chat. She's just being friendly. She's not having anything devious planned or anything. As Yang's thinking in her head, with her around, maybe I'll have some breathing room. As like, maybe she'll keep Ruby busy enough to have me at least get some me time finally. As she's thinking this, her arrival will get her some breathing area, just some distance from her sister because she's like up in her face constantly all the time. Hey, Dad, where's Izumi going to sleep? As he's like, yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm willing to share, my room with her if you're cool with it, Izumi. As Izumi's like, I have no problem with it. And she's like, it's settled then. As she grabs onto Izumi's hand and she pulls her to her room. I said, I want to, I have so many questions. And she's just trying to, get to know Izumi a little bit. As she, gets interrogated by Ruby, of all people, just trying to get to know her because she's never met someone from the outside, well, from outer space. So she's intrigued by the whole thing. As you have Ruby asking too many questions, like way too fast, where she can't even respond. As Izumi just looks at her, as she puts a finger on her mouth, and she's like, shh. One question at a time, Ruby. And she's like, sorry, I got overexcited. You see, I don't really have a whole lot of friends, so I don't get to meet new people a whole lot. Kinda don't have any. As Izumi's like, alright, Ruby, what do you want to know? Outside of the gory stuff, because I don't really want to talk about that. And she's like, yeah, I don't really don't want to hear that. So, as they start their first, real conversation, as Ruby was fascinated by her weapon the brief moment she saw it. So, she told her about the weapon itself and how she got her first saber, the trials she had to take, and how it took forever to her to make to finally figure out the whole shifting forms for all this for having a regular lightsaber, the double blade, and a dual wielding lightsaber. How she goes to different forms with it. It's a custom, it's a custom built hilt that she made herself. Ruby looks down as Izumi's like, "You got one now, Ruby. If I'm gonna be stuck here, guess I need to start trying normal things, I guess." She's doesn't know what to think about that. Normal. As Ruby eyes glow wide as she goes in and hugs Izumi. As Izumi's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're an affectionate one, are you? As, she, as Ruby's just happy to have a friend. So they're going to have, a good friendship through the series. I don't know the ship yet. I have an idea, but I haven't totally made up my mind yet. But it's not going to be Ruby. They're just going to have, close friendship. Because she's like technically the main character of the anime in canon, so gotta have her along most of the time. As Ruby and Izumi spend the whole night just talking, get to know this really hyperactive girl that seems very annoyingly interested in who she is. As that's where their bond will start growing from here on out. Yang's in the kitchen with her dad. As Yang's dad's like, it seems like Ruby and her get along pretty well. She's like, yeah, hopefully, that gives me some space. As her dad looks at her, I love my sister and all and that, but she could be a lot. As her father laughs, yeah, that's your sister for you. But on the thoughts on the girl, she doesn't seem that bad, despite her dark past. Yeah, she's all right, I think too. I overheard Ruby and her talking. She's actually kind of nice when you get past that whole intimidating intimidating aspect of her. She's definitely military. She has that military aura around her. So we cut to next morning as Yang shakes Izumi as she's, in the bed. Ruby and them share the same bed as, are you, hey, I have things to do, so can we do this whole trip to the forest now? As Izumi's like, yeah, just give me a second. As she, takes Ruby's arms off of her because, she's just latching onto her for some reason, using her as a pillow. As Zhang's like, sorry about that. My sisters can be quite handsy sometimes. She gets quite attached to people. As Izumi's like, it's fine. As she leaves the, yeah, I don't know if she would have clothes. No, she would not have normal clothes. She would, as Yang's like, yeah, we'll definitely need to go. We'll definitely need to take you shopping. As Izumi, I don't know if I should take the helmet or not. Yeah, let's just take the helmet. As she puts her helmet back on. It's like, all right, let's go. As she goes, sit on her motorcycle. As she's like, get on. As they get on, you might want to hold on. As Izumi holds on as they drive down the touch of land where you drive on down to the forest. It took them 20 minutes, maybe 30, to get down there. She kicks the stand up, the motorcycle, you know, stand that's on the bike, so it doesn't fall over. As they both get off, and it's just like, so how far is it? We're close. I can feel it. And she's like, feel it? What you mean feel it? The force, it works in interesting ways. Yang. Yeah, 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 Blondie. As he sees me laugh, like, well, technically you're blonde too. And she's like, shut up. As they finally get to, the crash site. It was a pretty bad crash. I see you. So this is what Uncle Crow and my sis saw. Yeah, it wasn't fun. As she goes in, as she grabs a bag, as she has several cases. In her bag, she shoved a bunch of the probe droids in her bag. This to have for her personal ones. The two. As Yang, we got company. What is it, Yang? As something comes rushing out of the forest. As Vex come rushing at, Yang. As Izumi said, "Stop, Vex. Kneel." She's like, "What the hell is that?" As Izumi's like, "Oh, it's my dear friend, Vex. That's a good girl." As she rubs her chin, there's no way that's a pet. Things looks monstrous. Um, ignore her, Vex. You're a good girl. Despite the disturbing creature, and for the people that are confused why Vex is, with her, she she takes Vex with her everywhere. So I just kind of forgot to add a little bit of it in story to implement that she's still with her. But yeah, she's Vex is still with Izumi. That's her own personal pet. All right, Vex, be a good girl. Guard my ship. As Yang, you're gonna have your pet guard the ship until I find out what I'm gonna do with it. I can't leave it here, but I can't simply blow it up. I don't know, the group you call Atlas, they're military, so I don't want to get their attention. They're most likely not as lenient as you guys are. As Yang, agrees as they get back to their bike, her bike, as they get back, as Ruby was waiting for them to return. As Ruby's all up in Izumi's face now, so Yang snook away quietly. Probably going to stop it there. It's a good place to stop it because I don't know what else I'm gonna do with this story. So hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones. All right, bye.